Hey! If you're passionate about sourdough that's as beautiful to look at as it is to eat, you are in the right place. In today's video, we are going beyond a simple score. We're creating a decorative sourdough product featuring a gorgeous wheat stalk design that really pops thanks to a clever black cocoa powder technique. And for an extra special touch, we are laminating our dough with tart cranberries and nutritious flaxseed during the final coil fold. This isn't just bread, it's a celebration. I know decorative scoring can seem intimidating, but I will break it down step by step from laminating the dough to that final dramatic score. Let's get started. Okay, so I have my sourdough dough here. It's gone through its bulk fermentation and I'm ready for my final coil fold. This is a perfect opportunity to incorporate some lovely additions to lamination. Today, I'm using dried cranberries for a pop of sweetness and tartness, and flax seeds for a bit of texture and nutrition. Cut our dough into half. One dough is around 500 grams, which always fit into the Pendleton basket that I'm selling in my shop in hankery.com/shop. You can also purchase the classic sourdough recipe in my e-shops too. I put the link in the show note below. Alright, let's start our lamination. Lightly wet your counter to prevent sticking. Carefully turn out the dough and gently stretch it into a large rectangle. You can clearly see that instead of a traditional coil fold, we're going to stretch it out into a thin rectangle, a bit like making puff pastry or roti canai. Be gentle, we want to maintain as much of the lovely airiness as possible. But if you don't like the big bubble of your sourdough bread, you can pop all the bubbles out at this stage. Once you have a nice even rectangle, it's time for the goodies. Sprinkle an even layer of the cranberries and sprinkle our flax seeds over about 2/3 of the dough surface. Usually I love to soak some water of the flax seeds or the cranberries to soak out all the water, and as well as the poppy seed. Oops, too much, but it's okay. You can always sprinkle around all over the dough at this stage. Soaking these seeds is crucial because it prevents this ingredient from absorbing moisture directly from the dough. Now we fold the dough. Take another side of the dough and fold it over into the middle dirt. Then fold the remaining seeded dirt over the top, or you can always add on more seeds or cranberries. Fold both sides into the middle like a letter. You now trap those lovely additions inside. You can gently pat it down. Now you can include some more of the remaining flax seeds, cranberries at this stage. Fold the side from nearest to you, fold it into the middle, and the top fold into the middle, like a letter or envelope. Well, it's square. Now, gently lift out our dough and put inside the Tupperware to let it proof for another hour or until it's jiggled. Alright, once our bulk fermentation is complete and the dough is looking beautifully airy and active, the next crucial step before we get to our final shaping, that all-important decorative scoring, is a pre-shaped. This stage helps build tension in the dough making it easier to handle and achieve a nice, tight, final shape. Remember, my previous video is talking about Taiji motion. So use the surface like a tension and workbench scrabble to help you to do that round pre-shapes. You can see I'm using my bench scraper and hands to gently push and pull the dough against the work surface to build a little tension on the skin. Now let's slightly flour our banana basket and our hand. After a couple of minutes of bench rest, and you can see it's relaxed and spread out a little. It should feel less tight now and ready for its final shape. And we want to shape a butter and oval loaf, which is perfect for those lovely weak score we're planning. There are plenty of folding technique. As long as you can fold it and build the right tension for the dough, it's really up to you. Once it's all rolled up, you will have a seam. Pinch the seam firmly closed with your fingers. You can also gently lock the roll from the seam to help seal it. Perfect. Now carefully lift your shaped butter and place it into the flour Benetton. Last step before we send the dough into the fridge for overnight cold proof. I love to build more tension and use the two hands and do the stitching into the dough to alternate cross pinching to build more tension. Once done, go into the fridge for an overnight cold proof. This slow cold fermentation not only develops incredible flavor, but for our decorated loaf, it makes dough firm and much easier to score. Look at that, this is overnight after our dough had this beautiful sleep in the fridge overnight and should be nicely chilled and firm. Now using a retractable flour duster that you can find in my shop, generously and evenly coated the entire surface of our butter with a black cocoa powder. Don't be shy, we want a good even layer to create that stunning contrast. Perfect, now we have our dark canvas ready for our artwork. It's really called black sourdough, isn't it? For the design, we inspired by the image you saw at the beginning of my video, a beautiful repeating wheat stalk pattern. I'll be using a simple bamboo skewer to first sketch the design and then a bread lamp for the actual scores. Take your bamboo skewer, we're going to lightly sketch the main lines of our wheat stalks in between. Think of a central stem and then little V shapes of chevrons coming off it to represent the grand ladder. You can see it's all like a lightly curved S on the bread. Using the bread lamp, and you can make them the stalk or parallel or slightly overlap or radiating out. I'm using a UFO lamp for these delicate cuts, but a straight one can work too if you're careful with your angles. Hold the plate at a shallow angle about 30 degrees to the surface. Let's start with the little grains of wheat, those V shapes. Following your sketch lines in between, make small, decisive shell cuts. You don't want this to be too deep. At this stage, just enough to open up and reveal the lighter dough underneath the cocoa powder. Take your time here. It's like delicate embroidery with a blade, isn't it? See how that black cocoa makes the lighter dough underneath really stand out. In separate row, make sure you use the scissors to cut it straight 90 degrees to make it the pattern. Or if you don't want to use the scissors, you can do the wheat stalk again. Then now use the bamboo skewer again and pop the round shape in between the wheat stalk and also the scissors cut. Beautiful. Now for the main expansion score, the image shows a deep S shape that earlier followed the general line of the wheat stalks close to the middle and go down to the center. This is not just decorative, it's crucial for following the bread to expand properly in the oven. This is our oven spring score, or you can also choose that doing the expansion score at the 7 minutes. And there we have it, our masterpieces in the oven. I'm baking this in the open bag, which creates a lovely steamy environment for the fantastic crust. Oh, just look at that! The contrast between the dark black cocoa and the pale wheat stalk that have bloomed open is just stunning. And the S score has expanded in the oven. Always let your sourdough cool completely on a wire rack before slicing. Let's slice into this beauty. Listen to that crust. Oh yum, and look at that beautiful interior. Those pops of red from the cranberries, that lovely texture from the flaxseed. This isn't just bread, it's an experience. Oh, look at the blister on the crust. Yum! So there you have it, a decorative black sourdough butter that's sure to impress. Toast them and serve with avocado become our healthy breakfast every day. Here's recap my hand-curry black cocoa sourdough design steps. And if you're looking to get started on your sourdough journey, or perhaps you are ready to upgrade your baking toolkit with some quality items like the ones I use today, from Benedict's and Lamb's to complete starter kits, I warmly invite you to visit my new online shop handcurry.com/shop. We are based here in Sydney and ship Australia-wide. The direct link is also waiting for you in the description box below. If you haven't already and you would like to see more sourdough recipes, I will be so grateful if you subscribe to Hand Curry channel and click that little notification bell so that you don't miss out any upcoming recipe. Happy scoring!